I notice it as soon as I step into the reception hall. Something feels off. The chandelier casts soft light across the white tablecloths, reflecting against the rose arrangements I personally chose. Pale pink roses rest alongside sprigs of baby's breath exactly as I had requested. The crystal glasses sparkle, scattering colors across the walls. Everything looks flawless. Everything for Sophia's wedding matches the vision I carefully planned, except for one thing: the family table. My steps slow, the echo of my heels louder than usual. I count the chairs, 1, 2, 3. Not 4, just Mom, Dad, and Sophia. No seat for me. I freeze, holding my clipboard tightly against my chest. A waiter passes with an apology I barely register. The hall moves with chatter, yet I stare only at that empty space where my chair should be. Mother notices me, champagne glass mid-air. Her small smile doesn't reach her eyes. "Ainsley," she says, as though my name is an afterthought. "Is everything ready for Sophia's entrance?" I gesture at the table. There are only 3 chairs. She glances briefly, then looks back at me, calm and certain. "Yes, you don't need one." The words strike hard. My shoulders stiffen and I steady my voice. "I see." Sophia joins her, radiant in the gown I helped her choose. Ivory lace over champagne satin, perfect for her complexion. "The head count at the family table is wrong," I say, though I already know the answer. Her brows crease slightly. "Maybe the staff made a mistake," she replies, in that familiar tone that suggests problems always belong to someone else. I hold her gaze a moment longer, then nod. I understand. The words feel heavy, but I keep my expression composed. I turn, clipboard tight in hand, each step controlled. Near the service entrance, I flip through my notes, though I know every detail by memory. My hands shake slightly, betraying the calm I project. Just last night, I was here until 3 a.m, checking centerpieces, lighting, every setup, while the family rested in their suites. My phone vibrates with a florist's text. "We're only continuing because we trust you. Sophia hasn't paid us." I close my eyes, recalling how I quietly covered the $4,200 deposit when her card declined. Another cost she'll never acknowledge. Another unseen sacrifice for her flawless day. In the mirror, I catch my reflection. Navy dress I sewed myself, hair pinned neatly, makeup perfect. Outwardly composed, though inside I feel the emptiness of 3 chairs instead of 4. Guests glance at me, whispering. I lift my chin, ignoring them. "You did an amazing job. Your sister's wedding is beautiful." The voice belongs to Melissa Banks, a childhood friend. She smiles warmly. "Thank you," I answer, managing a practiced but genuine smile. "Just doing my job." "Your job?" she asks, surprised. "I thought you only helped with the dress." I shake my head. "I coordinated everything: venue, flowers, menu, music." "That's incredible," she replies, lowering her voice. "Though I'm surprised you're not at the family table." Before I can respond, I recall last night's rehearsal dinner. Mother's arm around Sophia as she told relatives. "This is my precious daughter, the one who will inherit everything." When asked about me, she dismissed it. She's busy with work. Not really part of the family celebrations. Not really part of the family. Later, I find myself in a quiet alcove, laptop open on my knees, finger hovering over send on an important email. A week ago, I had already sent a formal warning about unpaid invoices. Professional, polite, but firm. It was clear, yet met with silence. Family loyalty against professional responsibility, my constant struggle. I stared at the screen, remembering the empty chair at that table, the intentional exclusion. 3 seats, not 4. This ends now. 15 minutes later, I sat in a corner booth at Cafe Roma, across from the wedding venue. My laptop glowed in front of me, an espresso cooling at my side. My fingers hesitated above the keyboard as I opened the financial records I'd tracked since becoming the family's event planner 3 years ago. Folder after folder appeared in careful order. My stomach tightened as I reached the mortgage files. "This can't be right," I muttered, though the numbers left no doubt. Our family's colonial home outside Columbus, once proudly valued at $1.2 million, now carried not 1 but 2 mortgages. The second, taken just 6 months earlier, nearly matched the first. I moved to the credit card statements. Overdue by 4 months, 3 accounts ignored, interest piling higher each day. Each document bore Sophia's signature, authorized by my mother. Then came the trust fund records. My hand froze as a chill spread through me. The Grandmother Lopez Educational Trust, created for both Sophia and me, now showed just $3,121. 1 year ago, it held more than $240,000. Systematic withdrawals, all marked S. Lopez educational expenses, had drained it within 8 months. The same month, Sophia was planning an extravagant wedding while claiming financial hardship. My phone buzzed. The florist's name lit up the screen. "I'm sorry to disturb you," Sarah's voice wavered, "but we need confirmation by 4 p.m. The $12,600 balance remains unpaid, and Sophia hasn't answered our calls." Before I could reply, a text from the caterer arrived. Urgent. Credit card declined for wedding meal balance. Please advise. Then another from the lighting crew. Final payment not received. Proceed with reception lighting? I closed my eyes, recalling our childhood home, the polished hardwood floors, the crystal chandeliers. The Christmas when 12-year-old Sophia unwrapped a purebred horse, while I received a department store gift card. The summer she toured Europe while I worked double shifts at the diner. When college acceptance letters came, Sophia got a fully furnished apartment near campus. I got student loan paperwork. "We believe in you, Ainsley," Dad had said, his hand on my shoulder. "You'll manage just fine." I signed $40,000 worth of loans alone, barely grasping the interest rates. Those payments still drain my budget in Brooklyn, while Sophia's bills land at our parents' address. I traced the trust fund withdrawals backward, each matching her social media posts. Aspen, Bermuda, a Mediterranean cruise. Educational expenses. Indeed, a memory surfaced. Last Thanksgiving. My mother raised her glass to Sophia's new gallery position. No mention of my company's expansion abroad. No word about the award I'd earned the month before. Another vibration broke my thoughts. Marco, the hotel manager I've partnered with for years. "Is everything okay? We noticed you weren't seated with family." Then Janine, the photographer, "I've worked with you for years. Just say what you need." Soon the DJ, the videographer, the baker all reached out. Their concern wasn't for the bride. It was for me. 3 days earlier returned vividly. I had arrived early to arrange place cards when I overheard my mother on the phone. "Prepare only 3 seats. Ainsley doesn't count as family. She's just the help." The words cut deep, but I buried the sting, focusing on Sophia's centerpieces. Now, as I scrolled through Instagram, her latest post lit up my screen. I felt fortunate to have a family around me on such an important day. Every detail of the event had been planned by me. A photo of my seating arrangement, my handwriting visible on each card, was proof of the effort I put in. As I sat quietly, I weighed loyalty against self-respect. The empty chair at the family table, the drained trust fund, the years of disregard disguised as praise for my independence, all returned to mind. Mother's words echoed. Ainsley doesn't count as family. With steady hands, I finalized the digital notice I had prepared a week ago, termination of service due to non-payment. My company's logo at the top made it official and impersonal. "Family should respect family," I whispered, sending the message. I forwarded copies to every unpaid vendor. The sense of obligation faded, replaced by something new. Choosing myself. My phone lit up with replies. I silenced it, closed my laptop, and took a sip of my cold espresso. It tasted like freedom. 10 minutes later at the venue, I spotted Sophia. Her veil shimmered as she moved through the tables. Her posture was perfect, but her eyes carried panic. "Ainsley," she called, her voice shaking. "The bar just closed, and the manager is asking about payment." "Fix this," calmly I responded. 7 days. I gave you 7 days to settle the invoices. Silence was your answer. The hotel requires full payment now. Her face twisted, not in gratitude for what I had already covered, but in outrage. "You can't just—" "I can." I did. My voice stayed firm. Vendors had already been notified. Behind her, confusion spread. Musicians packed up. Waiters removed glasses. My mother extended her credit card, only for it to be declined. My father tried his cards in vain, his posture shrinking each time. Across the room, Renee, the photographer I trusted, met my eyes and nodded before turning her camera toward the chaos. I stood taller, clipboard in hand, no longer just a tool of service, but a symbol of independence. When the manager approached, he greeted me with respect. "Miss Lopez, thank you. I have the contracts ready." Staff began treating me differently. Chairs pulled out, glasses of water placed before me. "Not them." Sophia clutched my arm. "Please don't ruin this for me." Just this one day. For a moment, memories of our childhood softened me. Then my mother cut in, her words sharp. She won't dare. Ainsley has always been a shadow in this family. Her statement clarified everything. I accepted the manager's document and signed. I gave you 7 days. You ignored me. I'm enforcing the contract. My father stepped forward. Ainsley, let's discuss this privately. Like when you removed my chair from the family table? I countered. I pulled out another document, proof Sophia had drained the trust fund meant for us both. Gasps filled the room. Sophia's husband looked at her in shock. That money could have paid my student loans, I continued. Loans I took while all support went to her. You have no proof, my mother snapped. I laid the bank records in front of her. Sophia's tears shifted from performance to panic. They said you wouldn't care, she whispered, but I saw it now, the truth. I had never been valued. That empty chair was intentional. I may not count as family, I declared, but I count as a professional. And professionals get paid. I turned toward the exit. Behind me, the celebration unraveled. Guests whispered. Cameras clicked. My sister's perfect day collapsed. With each step, old obligations fell away. By the time I reached the doors, I felt lighter than ever. Sunlight touched my face, and for the first time, I stood fully in my own light, not as a shadow, but as myself. Half an hour later, the reception hall clears like water draining away. Guests clutch their gift bags and whisper as they hurry out. Where just an hour ago crystal glasses rang with celebratory toasts, now servers collect unused champagne flutes. The white roses I had chosen so carefully droop in their vases, petals falling across empty place settings. I linger in the shadows near the service entrance, observing. Sophia's new husband, Mark, paces near the half-cut wedding cake, phone pressed to his ear, his face tense with confusion. The 6-tier cake I had worked on with the baker for weeks sits half dismantled, the bride and groom topper tilted at an awkward angle. The wedding coordinator, hired to represent me since I attended as family, approaches an elderly couple with an apologetic smile. I'm so sorry. There's been a financial issue with the hosting family. The reception is ending early. My mother's church friends cluster together, glancing toward Vivian, who sits alone at her small table, stiff-backed and staring into the distance. A small bruised part of me wants to feel victorious. Instead, I feel only emptiness. That evening, I kicked off my heels in my apartment, still in the navy dress I had sewn myself. The difference between my modest home and the Grand Columbus Country Club strikes me again. I run my fingers across the worn arm of my secondhand sofa, so unlike the Louis XIV antiques my mother insists complete her living room. My phone lights up for the 19th time. Father? Sophia, mother, then Sophia again. The wedding planner, Mark, more from mother, more from father. Each notification lands like a hammer against my resolve. With 3 steady taps, I block every family number. The silence feels like my first real breath in years. A bottle of Veuve Clicquot sits in my refrigerator. A gift from a grateful client, saved for a special moment. If today doesn't qualify, nothing will. The cork pops sharply against the ceiling. To professional integrity, I whisper into the quiet, raising a glass alone. My laptop glows in the dim light. I open my banking app and flinch at the numbers. Then I begin making calls. Carolyn? It's Ainsley Lopez. Yes, about today's wedding. I'm so sorry you were caught in the middle. I'll take care of the outstanding balance personally. None of this was your fault. I repeat similar calls to the florist who stayed late, the family-owned bakery that built the towering cake, and the string quartet whose performance was cut short. By the time I'm done, I've added $14,000 to my credit card. We always trusted you, Miss Lopez, the florist tells me with relief. That's why we continued despite the issues. Sometimes professional integrity matters more than family ties, I reply, surprised at the steadiness in my voice. My inbox fills with new emails. Notice of default. Second mortgage due. Lopez family residence. Columbus Business Journal. Local family faces multiple lawsuits. On social media, Sophia has already changed her relationship status to "it's complicated," followed by a hasty post. Anyone need a slightly used wedding dress? DM for details. Another email from the church secretary confirms my mother's resignation from the parish board. My father's subject line reads, "Urgent financial advice needed." I delete it without opening. I update my contacts, removing family members from my emergency list. The field blinks empty until I replace it with my therapist's name. My finger pauses over the family photo folder. Delete, childhood memories, holiday gatherings, even the painful ones, they all shape the road here. Instead of erasing them, I create a new album titled What I Overcame and move the pictures there. In my journal, I write one line. The empty chair wasn't rejection, it was direction. I curl up on the window seat, watching the city lights flicker. Tomorrow will bring consequences. Anger, perhaps legal threats, certainly emotional pressure. But tonight, for the first time, the knot in my stomach has eased. The weight has lifted. My apartment feels not small but sufficient. Not lonely but peaceful. Sometimes the most powerful seat at the table is the one you leave behind. 2 days later, a headline flashes across my tablet at breakfast. Lopez family home enters foreclosure. The Columbus Dispatch details my family's financial collapse. My coffee grows cold beside an untouched bagel. An email arrives from Mrs. Peterson, my mother's longtime bridge partner. Is it true your parents are moving to an apartment? Everyone at the club is talking. I swipe it away only to see a LinkedIn update. Sophia Lopez is seeking new opportunities in event coordination. The irony isn't lost on me. She's chasing the very field she once tried to steal credit for. Another notification. Lopez Family Trust. Legal proceedings initiated. The same trust Sophia drained, the one that listed my name but never supported me. I turn my devices face down and finish the coffee. Cold now and bitter, I don't react. No smile, no flinch. I simply rinse my cup and place it carefully in the dishwasher, every move precise, the way it has always been. 3 weeks later, she arrives unannounced. I look up from my desk to see my mother standing in the doorway, clutching her purse tightly. Vivian Lopez, once a woman who commanded attention, now looks worn down. Designer outfits replaced by simple department store clothes, blonde highlights fading to gray. We made a mistake, she says, her voice stripped of its usual authority. We need your help. I motion to the chair across from me. The irony isn't lost, this same chair she once refused me. I needed your love all my life, I reply steadily. You chose otherwise. She starts to speak, but my phone interrupts, Sophia's name flashing. I let it ring through, keeping my eyes on my mother. Later, I listen to Sophia's message. The marriage is over. He left after learning about the money. Her voice trembles. I didn't realize how bad things had become. Please call me back. That evening, a formal letter arrives from my father. His neat handwriting fills 3 pages. Apologies mixed with a detailed request for financial help. The pattern is familiar, regret followed by self-interest. Something inside me finally settles. I agree to meet them at a coffee shop 2 blocks from my apartment. Neutral ground. I arrive early, choosing a corner table with a clear view of the entrance. They walk in together, still a unit, but clearly diminished. My father's shoulders stoop, his once strong presence eroded by financial collapse. Sophia follows, her engagement ring gone, eyes red and tired. I remain seated, offering no hugs, no pleasantries. I gesture to 3 chairs I've arranged opposite mine. Thank you for coming, I say. My mother speaks first, nervously tugging at her purse strap. We favored Sophia because she was easier to manage. Your independence frightened us. We didn't know how to respond. My father lowers his eyes to his coffee. We chose the easier path. It was wrong. Sophia looks at me, mascara smudged. They told me you owed them because you were the less lovable child. I believed it. The words confirm what I've long understood. We need your help. My father continues, pulling out documents. Just until we recover? The bank has given us 30 days. We thought perhaps your apartment. I raise my hand, stopping him. The debt between us isn't financial. Confusion turns to disbelief as the meaning sinks in. You can't mean, my mother starts. I wish you well, I say, rising from my chair. But we no longer have a relationship. Her face breaks. Not the practiced act I've seen all my life, but a real collapse. My father sits frozen, papers still half drawn. Sophia reaches for me. Please, Ainsley. I glance at her hand. Unpolished nails, skin raw from worry, and step back. The empty chair showed me where I truly stood in this family. I say quietly. I'm grateful for that clarity now. I walk away, steady and calm. With each step, the lifelong weight of needing their approval slips off me. Behind me, I hear sobs, calls, pleas. I don't turn back. Some debts can never be repaid. Some chairs remain empty by choice. Outside, autumn sunlight warms my face. I breathe deeply, October air filling my lungs. For the first time in 33 years, I feel entirely free. 1 year later, I trace my hand along the railing of a Tuscan villa terrace, the sunset brushing warmth across my skin. The wedding of international pop star Marissa Lawson unfolds before me, every detail executed with a precision my former self would have admired. A string quartet plays gently as guests in evening attire move like brushstrokes across the stone courtyard. My assistant, Jenna, appears beside me with a tablet in hand. "Everything is going smoothly," she reports, then hesitates. "Your mother has called the office again. 4th time this month." I take a sip of Prosecco. The bubbles light against my tongue. "Give her the same answer as always," I reply. Jenna nods and moves off, her confident direction of the photography team reflecting what I've built, a company that thrived once I chose professional. Responsibility over family obligations, a chime from the laptop on my table signals my weekly therapy session. Dr. Freeman's face appears, silver-framed glasses catching the Italian sunset. "A beautiful view," she observes. "How are you feeling today?" I reflect as a server carries fresh roses to the bridal suite below. "I don't regret walking away," I answer. "Only that it took me so long." "And the recurring dreams about the wedding?" she asks. "They've stopped," I say, turning the screen toward the view. I've replaced those memories with better ones. Later, in my rented apartment overlooking the Arno River, the walls display not family portraits but images of chosen family. My business partner Thomas at our company's 5th anniversary, the vendors who stood by me when things collapsed, my therapy group during a Vermont retreat. A text arrives from Robert inviting me to dinner with friends who have become more family than my relatives ever were. I reply immediately, yes. Back in Columbus, mutual acquaintances report a different reality for my family. My mother now works behind a Macy's perfume counter, her designer clothes replaced by a uniform. Sophia's divorce was finalized months after her husband uncovered their financial deception. She now lives in a small studio apartment much like the one she once mocked me for renting in college. The irony is not lost on me. My parents occupy a modest 2-bedroom rental in a complex they once dismissed. At 16, I remember my mother remarking, "Those people should try harder." Now she has become one of them. The following afternoon, I interview Jessica Winters, a young event planner whose resume mirrors my own beginnings, working through college while planning events for free to build a portfolio. "My parents think this career isn't good enough," she admits, voice unsteady. "They wanted me to become a doctor or a lawyer." I lean forward. "Family doesn't always see your value. That doesn't reduce it." Her eyes fall on a framed photograph in my office, a single empty chair beneath a chandelier. "What does that mean?" she asks. "It's a reminder," I explain. "Sometimes, not being offered a seat pushes you to build your own table." Understanding flickers across her face. That chair was from my sister's wedding. Finding it empty was, in truth, the best thing that ever happened to me. The tears that rise in her eyes aren't sorrow, they're recognition. That evening, back on the terrace, I raise a quiet toast to the stars above Tuscany. Last month, I founded the Empty Chair Foundation, offering scholarships to event planning students without family support. Yesterday, I accepted an invitation to give a TED Talk on professional integrity within personal relationships. This morning, I replied to a letter from a young woman in Nebraska. "Your story gave me strength." My handwritten response was simple. "Your seat at life's table is always waiting for you." The stars reflect in my wine glass as night settles over the Italian countryside. In the glass, I see both who I am now and who I once was. The daughter seeking approval, the sister satisfied with scraps, the professional whose family used her talents. Softly, I speak to the night sky. The empty chair at my sister's wedding was never a loss. It was the turning point that led me to my rightful place. For the first time in 33 years, that place feels exactly where I belong.